Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. We welcome you to a brand new week and a brand new edition of Wake Up Nigeria.
So we hope your weekend was restful and of course fun at the same time. And well, Yomi, how was yours?
Well, it was restful in a way, but yesterday was pretty busy. Got home pretty late. But I know how yours was.
Yeah, I'm still exhausted.
Yeah.
I will be talking about that later on. But it's a tradition here every Monday.
We know how tough and brutal Mondays can be with traffic and lots of stuff to do. But we want to give you some motivation this morning. So wait for it.
Honestly, you need to be right there because today won't be any exception. My name is Titilayo Onyison.
And I'm Yomi Ope. As always, we are streaming live right now on tvcontinental.tv. So if you get to the office early today, then you can still catch up with the show. And then you can look us up on TVC Connect. If you want to participate, use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria. And
of course, for food this beautiful morning, we will be having a chef in the kitchen.
Yep. And of course, Mary's there already.
Yeah.
She couldn't wait for the chef, so she just,
Yeah, so we're just going to rustle up something. And guess what? It might be Mike for the kitchen today. Cooking noodles for us.
Are you serious?
Ooh, very nice.
Don't be teasing us like this now. Don't be teasing, because that's a risk, high-risk situation.
Babe,
Mike in the
Mike
kitchen.
almost hit the ceiling jumping up. Please don't steal his vibes.
Oh, more. Please, oh.
All right, thanks. Good to see you, Mary. All right, so straight for this morning's highlights. Enough motivation to last you through the week. Modupe Akinsian will be joining us, and we'll be talking about how to transition back to work from a career break, especially for women who want to have babies and just took some time off.
Just took sabbaticals. And of course, on business and being smart about our decisions, Sharif Gbadamosi will be talking to us business owners. I said us. Did you see what I did there?
Yeah.
Us business owners, on the importance of owners' drawings in businesses.
And on the importance of this day, back in history, we will be having a little something coming your way later on the show. We've been teasing you with that one.
Then finally, we'll be having a musical performance from Dina Day, and then get to chat with her later on.
Oh, baby, I got way too drunk last night. Don't text you to get me right tonight. I got way too drunk last night.
I love the voice, though.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Monday morning.
This beautiful morning. It's a Monday morning. What's this date?
Because he had hashtag Mike for the kitchen.
Mike.
So it's happening.
You want like getting the
Mike
crumble.
is looking so dapper.
As in, I don't know
Thank
what's
you,
going
Mary.
on.
Thank you, Mary. But you see, I'm thinking about last time I got into the kitchen. Okay, that was beans. Since that beans, I've just been warming food. So I've not cooked actually. That beans was a disaster. You see, let's just you see my kitchen.
Don't
job
worry
is,
about it.
It's going to be an adventure. So let's just leave that now.
All right, so we just want to talk briefly about what happened over the weekend.
Yeah. What? Say it, somebody.
Well, let me just
Many
start.
things happened.
Me,
She
I
was
had
the
to work
chief.
on
It was the
Saturday
chief
impromptu.
organizer. Okay.
Yeah.
But on Sunday,
Yeah.
We were at a party.
I was as sick can be, yet I was at a party.
Oh.
And it was
So Mary braved
couple of
her
5-year-olds.
fever and brought her daughter to the twins' birthday party on
wow.
Sunday. And I have to say a big thank you to everyone who sent in messages, prayers, gifts for the twins. Amber and Ruby, Mommy loves you. And they're 5 now.
Yeah.
So like
Amazing.
everybody's like, okay, so wait. So they're 5 now. So what's happening now? What's going on? When are you bringing the next set? I'm like, huh? You people should watch yourselves.
I remember
Watch
Oscar made
yourselves.
a speech. He went,
Go there.
and after their 5th, the next one is always the 10th. Like, you guys should not put it in mind that you're coming again next year.
Yeah, but it's just true. Look, we have to understand that. Look, you should not be under pressure. 5 is okay. That was very cool. 10 will be wonderful.
Yeah.
Amen.
And 15 will be better. 20.
16, I think.
And then make sure,
16.
make sure you chill with the painkillers.
Yeah, well, so I'm
Yeah.
on like some painkillers right now because my feet and my back are still killing me from, carrying the children and,
Let me talk like
tidying
You put me
everywhere.
under pressure.
Let me talk
What?
like more.
Because my daughter said I have to get her
What?
another doll that looks like the one in the party park, so she can
my
name them.
goodness.
I'm serious. So she's named that one Amber.
Oh
so I'm
my
supposed to get Ruby
goodness.
now.
Oh.
And I'm like,
Yeah, so yeah, you have your work cut out for you. But very,
I'm gonna ask you
very
where you got
quickly-
that later.
Yeah.
Very quickly, over the weekend, something happened. Mike is
Many
going to tell
things,
us about
yeah,
it.
many things happened, of course. As the
APC
Twitter
handle.
was hacked. And the guy was very funny. He went up saying, look, that the Nigerian government sold it to him, and he said he was about to release some DMs from the handle, and they have to pay him and all of that. So because of that, Yomi just hinted me, and which is quite cool. Thank you, Yomi. That tomorrow we'll talk about security on your social media handles.
Yeah.
Because it was quite a shame. I mean, we're talking about, you guys are also doing something in history today, which is quite very cool. Considering that we don't even have a website as a nation.
Yeah.
That we can go and check back, okay, what happened in our own history and all of that. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of things we need to get right. We are in the 21st, we're in the century whereby everything is technology driven. So when our national website can't even work, and you hear the amount that is spent on website call.
And
The budget for our websites
just
can be
speaking about
crazy.
just speaking about the APC Twitter handle, you remember this was the same thing that happened with the Democratic National Convention website in the U.S.
In the US, exactly.
When it was hacked and thousands of emails were released. And ultimately they lost the election. In 2016.
We actually keep being told that the best way to avoid hacking is to always change your passwords. But how often can you do that? Imagine a Facebook that you can't even log in on another device, getting all that wahala.
It's actually more than
Talk less
always
of a Twitter
changing
that
your
is a bit
password.
more relaxed in those things.
Yeah.
So, well,
But it's
I
not
don't know,
actually
you
always
get
change your
hacked, you
password.
get
At least there's one thing I know. People are scared of it, but there's something called two-factor authentication.
Yes.
I know Titi knows quite a lot about that because she does some financial. See, people are scared of two-factor authentication. That's the first thing. It's so very hard to break into a two-factor authenticated account.
That's
but we'll talk about that
Twitter
tomorrow.
does log in
During
very
Tech-
Tomorrow on
Tech
Tech,
Tuesday
tomorrow. We'll talk
That's
about
important.
security on social media
Please
handles.
do.
The paper headlines, Yomi and Titi, it's time for you to take it away.
Thanks so much, Mike,
Thank you.
for that. We're starting with the Daily Sun this morning, and the headline, 17 Chibok schoolgirls' parents dead, says bring back our girls. Remaining girls, Leah Sharibu's rescue a must, says Saraki. Buhari blames past leaders for nation's woes, meets Tinubu in London. Aisha makes U-turn, declares support for president. Again, cultists strike in Ijebu, Igbo, kill one. Abga woos Ihedioha, declares PDP dead in Imo. IBB canvasses support for Falai's SDP. And finally, Badaru heads APC convention committee, all on the cover of Daily Sun.
And on the cover of the Nation newspaper, it says, pro-Buhari group to Saraki, why our ban cannot stand. Senators to stick with Omoagege, fear over Adamu's likely suspension. Looters did not cover tracks well, says President. That's another story here. Buhari Tinubu meet in London. And apparently Nigeria has received $14.2 billion from World Bank Group. It also says here that the U.S. to review consular operations in Nigeria. And also APC gets convention committee. Then finally, it says, according to police, it says, we'll rescue Otun Olubadan's twins. More on that on page 40. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
The Punch is up next with the headline, knocks as Buhari says he hasn't done too badly. You can't be your own judge, says PDP. Obaseki imposes 90-day ban on grazing in Edo communities. Governors Badaru, Akeredolu lead APC convention committee. Obasanjo Falaye meet in Abeokuta tomorrow. Court OK's suit seeking CCT chairs removal. Hope not lost on Chibok girls. Leah Sharibu, says Saraki. And then we can see a photograph there of parents of missing Chibok girls praying for the release of their daughters. Wow. That's on the cover of The Punch there. And a couple of other stories. 5 killed, 50 houses destroyed in Kogi communal clash. Wow. Defective networks, 22 electrocuted in 3 months. And finally, many of my appointees betrayed me after I lost election, says Fayemi. All on the cover of The Punch this morning.
The Guardian newspaper says how 2015 poll was rigged in North by Tanko Yakazai. It says here, Southerners were intimidated, e-voting not done in region. It also says here, Konga in landmark merger with Udala, Afenifere Ohaneze dismissed 198 million population figure. Reserves inch closer to $47 billion on stable oil price. And on the tankers menace, residents, structures in grave dangers. Tankers, trucks defy Lagos government's military's orders to quit bridges. Then finally, Tinubu meets Buhari in London. Why the president should drop second-term bid by LP. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
Well, that's about it on the newspaper headlines for now.
And of course, the newspaper headlines are proudly supported by Dettol. Be 100% sure.
Well, it's Monday, and we're trying to get back into the swing of things.
And after all that food I ate yesterday, I need to work out. I know Benjamin is in the garden with Mike now.
Okay, it is sounding as though she wants to come join us here. All right, good morning. I've got Benjamin in the house. How you doing? I'm very good. So what do you have for us this morning?
Monday morning plyometrics.
Good.
Monday morning plyometrics. It's gonna be very
Plyometrics.
Yes.
Intense plyometrics, okay? Let's see what you have.
Okay. So we'll start with stretching. We'll stretch. We're going this way. Up. Hold for a few seconds. To the right. Hold for a few seconds, then to the left. And down. We go this way to stretch the sides. And down. To the other side. And down. So we stretch the thighs. Hold for a few seconds. Then change to the other side. Now let's start with high knees. This way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So the next move is high jump, high jumps. So we're going this way. So that's the jump spot. So are you guys ready? Come on, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's fine. So the next move, we're still working the lower bodies. It's the jump splits. We're going this way. Are you guys ready? All right, let's go. 1, 2, go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now our next move is the pick up. Are you ready? All right, let's go. We're starting to the right. 1, 2. Are you guys ready? Right. Come on, let's go to the right. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now the next move is the burpees. So the burpees, we go this way. Are you guys ready? All right, let's go. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let's stop. So the next move we're doing is the jump seat. So the jump seat goes this way. Are you guys ready? All right, come on, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. So the next move we're gonna be doing, I know this is seriously burning. So the next move we're gonna be doing upper body exercises. So we're starting with the push-ups. Are you guys ready? All right, let's go. That's the standard push-up. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're moving to core exercises. So with the core exercises, we're starting with the knee tuck. So the knee tuck goes this way. 1, 2, 3. Are you guys ready? All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now the next exercise we're doing is the leg raises. We're going this way. 1, 2. Are you guys ready? All right, 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Our next exercise is the sit-up. So the sit-up, with the sit-up, we're going this way. 1, 2. Are you guys ready? All right, let's go. 1, 2, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now the next exercise we're doing is the flutter kick. We go this way. That's how we're going. Are you guys ready? All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now the next move we're doing is the plank position. We do the shoulder tap. 1, 2, 3. Are you guys ready? Yeah, position. Let's go. 1, 2, go. To the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So the next move we are doing is the knee to elbow. We're going this way. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll count to 10. Then we'll change to the other side. All right, let's go. From the left knee to the right elbow. Are you ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We'll move to the other side. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Our next move is the mountain climbers. So this is gonna be the last exercise. So we go this way. 1, 2, 3. Are you guys ready? Come on, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, without
and that's it.
10. Yeah, that's
yes,
it.
that's
okay.
it.
So totally, what did we all do today?
This is total body workouts.
Okay.
So it's, if you did the exercise correctly, it is sure to work all parts of the body,
parts
from
of
the
your
upper body to the midsection to the lower parts of the body.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's good to
that's all we can take. of course, on aerobics this morning. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. And of course, we head next over to the kitchen, and Mary's there. But then, hey, come on, just before then, we'll take a commercial break. And when we get back, we have a whole lot more in store for you.
Welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. So, we're talking about owner's drawings. Now, these are withdrawals from a sole proprietorship's cash or other assets for the personal use of most of the owners, you know. And when it comes to startups, they sometimes opt to not take their draws. So you're probably getting a bit confused, but to break it down, we have Sharif Gbadamosi right here with us to tell us the importance of owner's drawings in business. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Nice to be back.
All right, so drawings, we're not talking about drawings,
no.
Right? Owner's drawings, let's break it down. What are owner's drawings?
Right, it's just simply, I'm a business owner, and the money I withdraw from the business at any point in time for my personal use. That's what owner's drawings is. So it's like a withdrawal of your own money from the business. Okay, so
a lot of business owners, I've heard, don't know how to separate their money from the business's money. And I'm thinking a lot of the time after the stress of making sales, you know, the first reflex is to just take some money out and, you know, have fun with it or use it for something important, personal. So how do we begin to separate the two?
Okay, it starts from the beginning. Before you even make your first sale, you got to be able to, you know exactly what your markup is. Markup is the amount of profits that you're going to make from any enterprise that you're doing. So you sell one item, you have a profit embedded in it, then the cost of that item, you plow it back to buy another item, and you keep on generating new profits. Now, you have to be able to separate your, we call it working capital, which is the amount of money that you always have to put back into that business to generate new profits. You have to separate that from the profits itself. Owner's drawings or withdrawals should only be made from profits. It cannot be made from the working cap because it means that you're spending the money that you're supposed to use for business. But your profits is new money, as it were. So that's why withdrawals should only be made from profits.
So let's break it down to maybe like a shoe seller now. As a shoe seller, I have 10 pairs of shoes I want to sell, premium pairs of shoes I want to sell. So I finally sell, let's say, 8 of them. And I make a markup or a profit on each of them. So are you saying I can't take any money out of
Well, you can. You can take, but you have to be able to clearly identify what your profit is from that 8. That you've actually, so even when you get the profits, you now say to yourself, how much of this profits am I willing to take? Because the problem with sole proprietorship and partnership is we take money as and when. There's hardly a payroll for the owner of the business. So we take money as and when. So for instance, something happens, diesel, we just automatically say, oh, give me cash there. So we have to keep tabs on that cash so that we don't spend profits way into your working capital. Then all of a sudden you find that you don't have enough money to keep running the business. You have cash issues. So that's something that they have to be very, very careful about. Then another thing is, especially when you're selling, you know, we talked about selling on credit.
Yes, of course, we did.
Right, so there are some businesses, if you're selling on credit, you have no cash realized, so really there's no cash for you to take money from as an owner. So that's another problem.
So you've not actually collected the money for the products yet?
So imagine I sell something for 10,000 naira, my profit is 8,000 naira, and I sold it on credit, and the person's going to pay me next week. But I go into the kitty, and I'm taking 8,000 naira saying, oh, this is my profit. It hasn't been realized. And this is probably money that was meant for buying other stock for you to be able to sell again. So you have to be careful to identify what cash is what cash.
All right. I'm really grateful you came to break this down. Please, let's continue this conversation on social media. Please make sure you tweet to us at TVC Connect with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria. And ask your questions there. And hopefully when you come back, you'll be able to answer a few more of them. I'm a bit concerned about expanding a sole proprietorship, you know, making sure the business is a bit bigger.
Yes.
So if, for instance, I'm not able to take out of the profits, does it mean that it's easier for me to expand my business?
It could be. It depends on what the business is.
Okay.
But normally...
Let's stay with the shoe sellers then.
Stay with the shoe sellers. So for instance, I sell 8 shoes and 8 pairs of shoes and I make my profit. I decide not to take anything out of it because I'm okay.
All right.
So I can take that profit, add it to the existing working capital, and maybe I may end up buying 15 shoes, which means that I've just expanded my business from a 10 shoe business, 10 pair of shoe business to a 15 pair of shoe business, which also means that my potential profit has increased to 15 times whatever my markup is. And you can keep doing that on and on. But we, in realistic terms, if you're running a business, you have your own personal expenditure. You have your bills to pay at home. So it depends on how much money you're playing with or you can play with for the individual themselves to say, I can choose not to withdraw from this business. Some people actually set up businesses and they already have money for themselves for maybe 6 months to live. So they decide not to withdraw from their businesses for the next 6 months so that they can grow it. Then eventually the business starts paying out for them. So they look at it as a form of investment for themselves. It all depends. But mostly when we start businesses, we need to start eating from the profits immediately because that's our livelihood, especially for small businesses like a shoe seller. So in that situation, you have to be able to apportion the profits. Some goes back into the business, some goes into your pockets, and some goes into paying.
So some goes into paying maybe staff and things like that.
If you have staff.
All right. Then.
Or taxes. Which is important. You have to pay for your taxes as well.
So is the tax on the profit after my working capital?
Yes. The tax is on your profits.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop right there before I confuse myself. But really, I'm beginning to get the breakdown. And I think maybe when you come back, we can talk some more about it.
All right, welcome back. It's time for a little bit of Monday motivation. Now, it's not uncommon for individuals to take time off work for 3 months, 6 months, sometimes up to 2 years, maybe for personal, educational, health reasons. And it could even be because of a situation forced upon the individual in the way of maybe losing a loved one or losing your job. So different things can happen for you to take a long break. And of course, getting back on the saddle can also be pretty difficult. And joining us to talk about reinstating oneself back into the workforce after a long time away is Modupe Akinsium. She is a life coach and motivational speaker.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
It's been 3 years or so since Nigeria slipped into a recession officially. So lots of people who lost their jobs at the time. And of course, that could be one reason for taking a long break off work.
Absolutely.
Another could be, okay, you took time off to have children. And so there are different reasons.
Or to study.
Exactly. There are different reasons why people take a long break off work. But what are the things that you should then begin to think about if you're considering going back to work?
Okay, so thank you so much, Yomi. I mean, that's something that you really find common these days. Yeah, the depression or the inflation or people going to have kids, maybe people who have waited for a while and then they get pregnant and then, you know, it could be for health reasons and a whole lot of things. But one of the ways to find a solution to such situations is to first identify why was there a career break? Because like you rightly admitted, you know, a lot of people have been left off, you know, from their jobs and all that. In fact, some people have not recovered from the incident we had in 2008 when all the banks collapsed and, most of the banks and all that. So we need to establish the reason why people, because based on the reason why an individual has taken a career break, then you will be able to find the appropriate transition steps, you know, to take to get back into the workplace. It will differ from situation to situation or from individual to individual.
All right, so let's now visit the situations.
All right, then.
Let's look at voluntary time off work. So you decide that, okay, so for instance, let me give you a scenario. So my sister, a few years ago, wanted to have kids, but because she was working in the bank, it was tough, you know, getting up in the morning. And so the doctors advised her to take time off and, you know, go through this fertility treatments and all that. And she did that. She got pregnant. So she took about 3 years off work and, you know, to have 2 children and, you know, just relax and get in the family way and all of that. So for someone like her, what do you advise?
Okay, so I mean, that's a very, very good one because it was voluntary and most likely she had her mind prepared for how long she was going to be away for.
Exactly.
Right? So what I usually tell people is before you go on that break, you need to have estimated how long you want to be gone for. And by the time you come back, establish what it is you want to be coming back to do. Because sometimes, for using this particular example you gave now, I can imagine that after waiting for a while and going through all the financial commitments and physical, demands on her body, to have the kids, the question will be that, is she looking to go back into that same sector? Or is she looking to do something lighter, that will afford her time with her kids or afford her time, even for herself and her family as a whole? So or I tell people, have a vision of what you want to come back to. And while you're gone, do not totally disconnect. You know what? People only remember people they see.
Exactly. So that's one of the challenges that usually happens. So when you take the time off to go and focus on whatever it is, maybe you even went to school in the UK or US or whatever it is, you just cut off from everybody else. And after a while, it just seems like the industry has moved on from you. So what are you supposed to do during that break? What apart from focusing on whatever it is that you're doing, the kids or your schooling or whatever, what else are you supposed to do in relation with your career during the break?
At the time. So one of the things, so if you had to take a break from your work to study, to have kids or do anything, you need to keep in touch with the people you have left behind. You need to stay abreast, especially if you're coming back to that same organization. You need to maintain contact and constant relationships with your stakeholders back at home. If you need to keep in touch with your colleagues, you need to keep in touch with your clients, your customers, because it doesn't just apply to people who are working in the corporate environment. Even business people sometimes shut down to either take a break and do whatever. So you need to network. You need to keep your network, your relationships very warm. Except you want to establish, maybe you go to to Europe to study, except you want to start building a career in that space, then maybe you can focus fully. But if you have plans of coming back home, you have to keep your eyes on that pie, all right? Because you don't want to come back and ask who moved my cheese, right? So you need to come back. You need to maintain constant relationships. So maybe you belong to a professional association. You need to ensure you are abreast. I mean, these days, we have a lot of WhatsApp platforms, a lot of virtual platforms where, professionals network and just keep themselves abreast of what's happening in the industry, in their specific organization, and a whole lot of that. It makes coming back a lot easier.
Okay, so let's talk about, so we'll talk about job loss. So people who lost their jobs, so that is not voluntary.
Absolutely.
Right? And then we'll also talk about, the emotional and psychological issues that affect both parties, even for those who did it voluntarily. But if you lost your job and maybe, initially, you go to church and they tell, or you go to your pastor or your imam and they tell you that, look, within 3 months, you're gonna get back on the saddle. Don't worry. But after a while, 3 months turns to 3 years, and then you discover that, look, it's really, really stretching and it's taking a while. What are you supposed to do while you're waiting to get back to work?
I think one of the things that put people under a lot of pressure when they are away, especially when it is not voluntary, is even the financial implications. So you see someone lose his or her job, and then they're already in a hasty mode. I need to get the next job. Sometimes you need to slow down and ask yourself, why me? Now, why me? Not necessarily because there's something bad about you, but remember we've spoken a while ago about feedback. Sometimes the experiences we have are actually feedback of our actions or inaction. So why was I let go? Why was I part of the people disengaged? Was there something I could have done differently before you rush into the next job? Because when you are anxious or depressed, you're not in the right frame of mind to even ace an interview. All right. So yes, you need to slow down. If it's your pastor, if it's a coach, if it's your imam or whoever you want to talk to first get that immediate counseling that you need so that you're in the right frame of mind to even prepare. Because you see people go for interviews sometimes and then they're asked questions, maybe prove yourself, prove your worth, and they're not able to. Why? Because of the kind of loss they've suffered. So I tell people you need to be prepared for any event that can be outside your control. So have a financial savings. It's advised that you have a minimum of 6 months salary in savings. I know that's something, that's another discussion for another day, such that when you leave work, you're not rushing to get into something, yeah? So if you're in that place where you've received counsel, oh, 3 months, just expect a miracle or something is going to happen, and it doesn't happen, you need to ask yourself, when is my cutoff? By when should I understand that, you know what, I need to get myself engaged? Because engagement can be me not necessarily finding a paid employment, but keeping myself busy because I don't want too much gap on my resume. So I can go and volunteer my services somewhere, because what I may not be getting in form of cash, I'm gaining in form of experience and
so
productive engagement. Absolutely. Volunteering is key, because you see some people, they've taken a break for such a long time, involuntary, and then they want to get back and people are asking, so what were you up to? And it's not tenable. I mean, it's okay if you say, I went to have my kids. It's okay to say, I paid attention to X, Y, Z, to learn or study. But if you say, I've been looking for a job, it just reduces your value again. So what you need to do is to ensure you engage yourself productively. If you want to start a business in the area of your expertise, begin to engage yourself, right? So that's one way to keep yourself active. Look for jobs, but you can also begin to take professional certifications. Again, what you have, I mean, I remember when that bank incident happened in 2008, you realize that a lot of bankers that were let go all of a sudden woke up and realized that, you know what, I've just been a teller all my life. I've been a customer care, those are jobs, but they've never really built themselves for any kind of professional path. So you need to go back and ask yourself, do I need to take courses? Do I need to position? And of course, do I need to network? It's not enough that you think you're good. People need to know that you're good.
Wow, Mrs. Akinson, thank you so much for at least providing some direction for people who are at home, thinking about getting back to work. We hope that you got lots of information about what you need to do. Ensure that you stay abreast of the facts, stay abreast of your industry, keep in touch with the people that you worked with before, and hopefully you should be back on the saddle in no time. Right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Yomi, for having me.
All right, we're going to go on a break now, and of course, stay with us. Wake Up Nigeria continues.
All right, hello and good morning, Nigeria. It's a Monday morning on Wake Up Nigeria and everywhere else in Nigeria. Really?
Yeah,
really?
Monday morning. No, but yeah, I mean, it's strange how we say, oh, it's Monday morning, and they all already know that it's Monday.
Yeah.
Now, a lot has happened on the show already. We've already had a dose of Monday motivation.
We've talked business as well.
If you didn't catch that, make sure you check it out on YouTube later on.
Of course.
Maybe about 2 hours after the show, you can see Rashid Gbadamosi.
Yep.
And also Modupe Akinsin. It was great. It was really nice.
So my name is Titilayo Onyison.
And I'm Yomi Owope. Of course, like we usually always say, we are streaming live right now on tvcontinental.tv and on Facebook. You can look us up on TVC Connect if you want to participate in the show. We haven't done social media in a while.
Yeah, but I know that it's coming up very, very soon. We've been trying to fine-tune and refine it, make it better,
make it
so
easier,
that everybody can be part of it. Some people were saying, we want to do Instagram, we want to do Facebook. So we're trying to incorporate everything. And we're bringing you something else today as well.
A little bit of history.
Yeah, a little bit of history.
So we want to start doing something called Today in History, and we'll be having that once every week, and we'll be bringing you that for the first time today.
All right, and then after that, we have a performance for you, and that's from none other than Dina Day, and we'll be getting to chat with her afterwards.
Yep.
Oh Lord, oh baby, I got way too drunk last night. Don't text you to get me right tonight. I got way too drunk last night.
Dina Day there.
Yes, Dina Day.
Yeah.
I was like, Dina Day or Dina Day.
You know,
I
I actually
don't know.
thought when I first heard the name, I heard the name before I saw it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was Dinner Day, like food.
Yeah.
Oh, dinner day.
I don't know whether I'm over-tushing it up or not, but you know, it sounds like something she would probably say because of the way she sings.
Yeah, that Indiari feel.
Yeah.
Very
Talking
nice.
about music,
Neo-soul,
talking about music, arguably the biggest music festival in the world, the Coachella Music and Arts
was
Festival.
trending over the weekend.
It's been happening up to next week. Of course, the big news for us here is that Wizkid was supposed to be there over the weekend, but he couldn't make it, but he'll be there next week. But then Beyonce is catching all the headlines. Like, first of all, she's the first black female act to headline Coachella, and a 2-hour performance. You need to see clips of that, 2 hours. It got to the point that some people are now going as far as comparing her with Michael Jackson.
With Michael Jackson. I saw
Which I think is too far.
I saw the argument. Well, I saw the arguments for and against on Twitter last night. It was madness.
It was
And
madness.
People were fighting, you know, and who is this Michael Jackson himself? He's dead and gone. You know,
Don't try it.
that's what people were saying.
Just stop.
Legends
Just
are
stop.
legends.
Legends
You
are
cannot compare legends. See,
Look.
do you know that? You know the Super Bowl.
This is what happened on
The
Twitter.
truth is,
No, wait.
I know
This
that
is what happened on Twitter.
I know that Beyonce herself took so many bits of inspiration from Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So you can't. There has to be some kind of respect.
Somebody came and said,
on.
somebody's response, one of the responses was like Michael Jackson didn't even, for 2 minutes, he was just standing on the stage and people were going wild. Without saying anything.
You know how many people draw inspiration from Michael Jackson?
You know,
Let's not even go there.
Carrying out on stretchers.
Michael Jackson.
As
they
much
say.
as, then let's not bring the issue of him passing on, because let's forget that he passed on. Look,
Hey.
it's like kindergarten and university. Let's not even go there.
I gave up on music.
Let's
when
never
that
go
guy died,
there.
because I always
Forget that he
wanted to do a
passed
song
on.
with Michael
But
Jackson.
big ups to Beyonce. 2 hours set.
Legend.
That is not
2 hours. That's
You know,
crazy. That's
change of
crazy.
costume. She brought back Destiny Child. She brought her sister on. She brought Jay-Z. She even did something to Chimamanda Adichie's voice.
There's a song they have
it
already.
was cool.
There's
It was
actually a
cool.
song like that. There's
Very
one of the
We have to go to the news now, but we will be talking about this on social media as well with
And
the
probably
hashtag.
entertainment news later in the week.
Definitely,
Yes.
definitely.
Wake Up Nigeria is our hashtag, people. Let's go.
It's the headlines in the papers coming right up next.
Yes, indeed. And we'll start with the Punch. Knocks as Buhari says he hasn't done too badly. You can't be your own judge, PDP tells president. There's a picture there of the parents of the missing Chibok schoolgirls praying for the release of their daughters kidnapped by Boko Haram insurgents. This was during a service to mark the 4th anniversary of the abduction from Chibok. Really sad. Hope is not lost on Chibok girls. Leah Sharibu says Saraki. Cult members raid police station, free suspects. Also, it says here, many of my appointees betrayed me after I lost election, according to Fayemi. Buhari Tinubu meet in London. On defective networks, 22 electrocuted in 3 months. That is a large number. In 3 months, wow. 5 killed, 50 houses destroyed in Kogi communal clash. And finally, on 2019, Obasanjo Falaye meet in Abeokuta tomorrow. That's what we have on the cover of The Punch.
All right, on the cover of the Vanguard, we have, it's impossible to recover all looted funds, says Buhari. Says he hasn't done badly based on what he met. No amount of pressure will stop release of more looters list, says federal government. And Governor Badaru heads 68-member APC convention committee. Lecturer renounces Nigerian citizenship, urges Buhari to endorse. And then young Nigerian must lead the country in 2019, says IBB. UDollar dissolves into Konga, becomes Africa's largest e-commerce platform. Very nice.
Wow.
And then 5 dead, 50 houses razed in Kogi over cashew plantation. All on the cover of the Vanguard this morning.
All right, and that's all we have time for on the newspaper headlines for this morning.
And of course, the newspaper headlines are proudly supported by Dettol. Be 100% sure.
It's time for us to take a commercial break, but we will be back soon. And there's still so much more in store. Welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. Okay, so on this day in history in 1867, Wilbur Wright was born. Now, he was one of the two American aviators, the Wright brothers, who were engineers, inventors, and aviation pioneers. They're generally credited with inventing, building, and flying the world's first successful airplane. So they made the first controlled sustained flight of a powered, heavier-than-air aircraft in 1903. By 1904, 1905, the brothers developed their flying machine into the first practical winged aircraft. Although not the first to build an experimental aircraft, they were the first to build an aircraft that had controls that were used to power flight. That's winged powered flight. They made it possible. So the Wright brothers' fundamental breakthrough was the invention of the controls, which enabled the pilot to steer the aircraft effectively. Now, to maintain this, the method became what remains standard in all fixed-winged aircraft of all kinds till today. So they actually had a patent, and however, they didn't claim to invent the first airplane, but it was the system of aerodynamic control that they basically invented. So those two guys right there are the reason why you and I can jump into a plane.
They took the risk.
Yeah.
They took the risk first, and that's really nice. And kudos to them and whoever their parents were.
Honestly,
for inspiring that dream in them.
Because when you think about it, air travel these days is so much. It's so important these days.
Yeah, really. All right, so still on this day in history, in 1912, somebody called Harriet Quimby became the first woman pilot to pilot an aircraft across the English Channel. She took off from Dover in England en route to Calais, France, and made the flight in 59 minutes, landing about 25 miles from Calais on a beach. Her accomplishment received little media attention, though, because of the sinking of the Titanic on the day before. And of course, most of the public was consumed by that piece of news.
Of course.
She was an early American aviator and a movie screenwriter. In 1911, she was awarded a U.S. pilot certificate by the Aero Club of America, becoming the first woman to gain a pilot's license in the United States. In 1912, she became the first woman to fly across the English Channel. Although she lived to be what age? I think she was...
she didn't live that long, funny enough. She actually died quite early.
Yeah,
but
she did a lot in forwarding women's interests in that area, in things that had to do with engineering.
Very
Kudos to
really.
Harriet Quimby.
And of course, in Nigerian history, not too long ago, in 2011, there was a presidential election in Nigeria on this very day. It was actually postponed from 9th of April, but the election followed a controversy as to whether a northerner or a southerner should be allowed to become president. Now, this was especially after, there was an agreement, actually, to rotate the top office between the North and the South. And that was a really, really big deal back then.
Yeah, and of course, you remember all the candidates all the aspirants that wanted to be president with Badu and Pastor Chris Okoti and a bunch of other people.
Yeah, they were all in that election. And it's something we should really look into, making sure that we look back and remember things that
make
happen.
sense of what's happening today. So history is really important, and hopefully we'll be bringing you things like this, just little nuggets of history like this every week. And thanks to Titi.
We're going to be going over to Mary right now, and Mary has something interesting on standby for us. Dina Ade is around.
Hi, Dina. It's great to have Dina here. Thank you so much, Titi. Dina will be giving us a performance. She's an alternative artist, and I can't wait to hear what she has for us. So take it away.
Thank you. Presenting Dina Ade. Pull up on me, 'cause I'm needing you. I need you to get up on me. I'm needing you. I'm missing you like right now. Oh la la la, I'm missing you like right now. I'm needing you, you. I got way to wait. I got way. So I texted you. Oh, I only miss you when I'm drunk. Would you be there for me? I can't deny the spell that you put on me, baby. Oh, love me, oh, love me, oh, love me. Excuse me, baby. I'm gonna love on you, baby. Yeah, you, baby. Say my name, you do. I got way to wait. I got way. So I texted you. Hey, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If I love him, I love him forever, forever. Oh, baby, can't you see without you I'm losing my mind, boy, I'm crazy. Boy, without you I am crazy. Oh, baby, oh Lord, oh baby, I got way too drunk last night, drunk texting you to get me right. I got way too drunk last night. Thank you.
Nice one.
Thank you very
much. Oh my
much.
gosh, I really like that.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
There's a lot we're going to be discovering about Dina Ade and alternative music. In the meantime, however, we'll take a quick break and then we'll be having a conversation with her on the sofa. Stay with us. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
It's still Wake Up Nigeria, and we still have Dina Ade here, and we are about to meet the personality behind the voice.
You heard her just before we went on break, and it was indeed a treat for our ears. You're a fantastic singer.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
She plays only one instrument, the vocal cords.
Right.
I thought I was losing out on something there. How did the vocal cords play? Because I was thinking, okay, there's what's that one now? What do they call the mouth organ? What do they call that one now?
Good question.
There's the mouth organ. So I was thinking, maybe there's one instrument called vocal cords that you just play with your mouth. Oh,
Vocal cords. Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm very well.
You've been doing
thank
music
you.
professionally for 4 years.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about prior to then. Let's talk about your origins in music.
Okay, so I've been performing since I was 7. Performed for Nelson Mandela, for the Prime Minister at the time, Tony Blair, and some of the royal family members.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow. Woo.
Yeah.
In what capacity
Yeah,
did
what,
you
yeah.
perform?
Tell us about the performance. Was it just a vocal performance, or were you with a group or something?
We were with a group,
Okay.
and we used to sing and dance songs about African unity.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
That was the theme,
Yes.
African unity.
Yes.
So did you have to recite, or were there lines you had to sing?
We had to learn the lines, then we'd go
Okay.
to the studio and record, and then the best ones would be like the frontier, and they would perform.
Nice. I dare say you were one of those on the front.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot
Cool.
of.
Can you give me a line that, we're talking about African unity.
Yeah.
What line did you do that really spoke to you at that time? Let's say a line or a verse or something.
Nelson once had a dream, fighting apartheid. South Africa will be free for blacks to live.
Oh, that's lovely.
Actually very nice.
That's cute. How old were you then?
I was between 7 and 9.
Oh, okay,
you were
cute.
pretty young.
I'm
You were
imagining
pretty young.
a 7-year-old
Yeah.
getting all that the appetite, but that's cool. So that was how it happened for you. How did it graduate into you doing it
Professional
professionally?
music.
It's a funny story. I mean, I've been nursing the dream for a very long time.
Okay.
And I had gone to so many shows, and I had always dabbled in the entertainment industry.
Okay.
And I saw Rihanna.
Okay.
And I was like, I can do this. And that was it. Next thing was to find a studio and record.
So Rihanna was your inspiration.
Well, she was the muse at that time.
Okay.
So, yes, after that, I haven't stopped.
Now, you have had a lot of involvement in the Nigerian music industry.
Right.
And you said you've also been in Lagos for quite a while now.
Right.
How would you say your music has been accepted? How appreciated and accepted has it been?
I think right now there's a rapidly growing alternative scene. We have the Makas, we have the Jazzes, we have the Undusis. And because of, I guess, people like Asha, our type of music is becoming accepted. Because, I mean, people always listen to foreign music, just not when it's from Nigerians. So right now, with the growth of, like, the youth and their own, like, alternative music, people are very receptive. So it's allowing for artists like myself to progress and reach a different audience that I never would have expected.
Wow. Now, we all know that we keep talking about the music industry and how it's male-dominated.
Yes.
Everyone talks about, oh, we have so many successful female artists, but we do know, of course, that it's male-dominated.
Right.
How have you been able to cope with that?
I mean, it's a daily struggle because the expectations are always different for females, and it's quite limiting. They always
When you say different, what do you mean?
different, I mean, in aesthetics, for example, if you're a female artist, you're expected to, you know, wear the heels, have heavy makeup, big weaves, and they don't necessarily embrace you as much, or singing about love all the time. So, but I think, again, we have a rebellious group of women that are fighting the consensus and are making a way for us.
Okay, so you are trying to also fight that, like try to create the kind of sound you'd want, not what is accepted by the industry.
Yes, I really want to make music purely for women. My music isn't for men. It's, I mean,
I'm not understanding.
You should take a walk now. Let's just, you know,
I'm not
continue.
understanding. You're making music for women. You will not sell. Oh. You don't do say.
But it's funny because men still follow.
You don't want to wait. Do you want to say? Do you want to make money with this
I'll buy
music?
it for you if you don't want to buy
No, wait. Do you
No,
want to
the
make
thing
music?
is, why I make music for women is that I want to speak from a woman's perspective in regards to like relationships, life in general, aspirations, not necessarily. Oh,
So give me some lines that you feel are tailor-made for women in any of your songs.
I have a crush on you. I want to sing for you.
Okay.
Shout out to all my girls that they have their own money and they don't need any help. Those are the type of lyrics I'm talking about.
Shout out to all my girls that have their own money and they don't need any help. Does it matter how they made the money?
Must you do that?
Does it matter how they, because, you know, this morning I put up a post, actually, you know, incidentally, I put up a post this morning that there's nothing as attractive as a woman with ambition. You know, it was very good, it felt cool. But then, while I put out that post was a picture, I put a rejoinder on, I was like, the right ambition and going about it the right way.
Right.
Does that matter?
I mean, yes, it matters, but I'm not an advocate for how you make your money.
Okay.
I'm just here
I know
to-
where you're coming from. I get what you mean.
Make you feel like,
I get what you
Feel
mean.
good, more like-
I get what.
Yeah.
Now,
But I
Dina,
think it's empowering.
okay.
It's empowering. I think as a guy, I'd want to listen to a lady who talks about how women can be empowered, how self-empowerment and all of that.
Right.
I think so.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I think so.
So you have some projects you're working on. Could you tell me more about them?
Yeah, so I'm working on my second LP. It's called The Cries of My Subconscious.
The Cries of My Subconscious.
Yes.
What's an LP?
A long play.
Long play.
I mean, your girl, it's
Extended
album.
play.
Okay, what's the difference between extended and long?
I think the creation of the project isn't album-like.
Okay, so how many tracks are we expecting in it?
7.
Okay, all right. So it's just semantics for me, terminology. It's album, EP, LP, MP, DP.
I feel like an album is so grand.
It's grand, right?
Yes.
Okay, so but you don't have an album out yet.
Not yet.
So 2 LPs now.
Yes.
All right. So what are we expecting in this second LP? What's it titled?
It's titled The Cries of My Subconscious.
Okay, yeah, you mentioned that.
Yes.
True.
It's a mixture of house music, soul music, a little bit of rap. So yes.
You rap as well.
Yes, so.
Okay, we just have to hear that.
Oh,
like,
Lord.
I love rap music, and when I hear a female rapping, it just tickles me in a very good way. So let's hear you.
Okay, let me see. Waduro no farabale jeka soro. Kini bubo shit mo man gbọ́ pé man sọ no.
Now you got me. No, when she's like, you wanted to rap, okay, we've heard from you rap. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So we have all of that, and does that LP represent you as a person musically?
Yes.
Because most of the times when I see an album, I feel like many people don't go for albums now. They say the industry doesn't make it so easy. You want to drop singles, but I feel like an album introduces you to the artist. You feel a body of work. You get the whole person. You get different feels. So what does this EP do? How does this EP represent Dina Ade as a person?
I feel like at this point it's necessary to show my growth as an artist, and now I'm a more serious artist. And with this body of work, you can see the talent, the creativity, and the potential. So that's what this signifies for me.
No,
when is it coming out?
End of this month.
End of this month.
We can't wait to hear it. There's a difference between when you're doing music for the love of music and then when you go professional.
Right.
So what has been the major difference for you? Like there's always that one thing that you just feel, I wish I had just stuck to doing it just for the love and all.
The sound. The music I make is literally just from my heart. But with this project, I'm conscious and I'm aware of listeners now. I'm aware of sonics. So it has to be more widespread in the sound. So that's the difficult part, because I'm coming out of my comfort zone to create something that is very different from what I would do ordinarily.
What has been your most challenging song ever since you went professional?
My most challenging song? I don't think I've had one that has killed me anyways. But I always try and make sure that even if I'm trying to shift to the quote-unquote mainstream or commercial sound, I always have to make sure that it has elements of me in it.
Fantastic. So Dina Ade in 5, 10, 15 years? Let's just look into the future. What do you expect?
I expect to be a music mogul.
A music mogul?
Yes.
Do you have the groundwork, the framework for that? Are you signed to your own label or something?
Yes, so I have my own label that also has a publishing company involved. So we do royalties for artists in Nigeria.
Oh, okay. Now I know you're not just talking, you're working towards it.
Yes, trying our best.
Okay, well, thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you.
It was nice chatting with you. I wish we could continue this for very long. But then, Mary, where are we heading to now?
To the kitchen.
Okay.
To have cereal as breakfast.
Awesome.
Yeah, Cocoa Pops. For me, that is. Kellogg's. Please, let's go.
Okay, this way, ladies.
Thank you. Mike is being quite the gentleman this
Yes,
morning.
we've been bringing this way.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Dina. How's it going?
Fine.
Lovely voice.
Thank you. All right. So we're just having some cereal this morning, and we're wondering which one
Want to keep it light.
So
So
we have,
do you prefer Cocoa Pops
or cornflakes?
or cornflakes?
Yeah, I figured. I figured you look like a Cocoa Pops girl.
Thank you.
All right. So while we're getting ready to while we're digging into it, we're just trying to round off the show this Monday morning, and it's been a great show, and we're sufficiently motivated for the week.
Of course.
And thanks to all our guests for joining us this morning. Modupe Akinsiu,
Sharif
Badamosi, and of course the one and only Dina
Ade
joined us this morning.
Beautiful.
All right, so it's been a great show. Big thank you to all sponsors.
A big shout out to our friends at Homely NG for the kitchen accessories, and of course our friend Fola at Fola's Place for styling our hair. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
We will be back again tomorrow morning from 7 a.m.
Yeah, and of course you know how it is. The Tuesday show at 7 a.m.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Make sure you check out our clips on YouTube, and we'll be right there with you all through the day.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Bye.